Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for being here on the auspicious occasion of Ekadashi. Ekadashi, as we have mentioned many times in the past, and it's interesting for the fact that in this month, both the Ekadashis fell on a Saturday. Doesn't get any better than being around devotees and hearing about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the day of Ekadashi. So thank you for being here. We have been discussing about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we have been continuing on our journey with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where Mahaprabhu has taken us to different places. It is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who is taking us. Without his mercy, we will not be able to understand and even hear and even resonate to the pastimes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. If God doesn't want, if Bhagavan doesn't want, no one can understand his pastimes. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very kind that in Kali Yuga he comes for people who have the least qualification to give them the highest jewel. For those who have probably not done anything for him, not done anything for the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord comes down to give the highest treasure, something that was never given in the past, or as we have mentioned before, something that is given once in 8.4 billion earthly years. So it's not a coincidence that we are all here. It is the Lord's divine planning, and more importantly, this occasion is such we may think, oh, it's just a Saturday. I can maybe look at my phone. I have better things to do. I have to go home and do this, do that, etc. But those things can wait. If this time goes by when we are distracted, we don't know when we will get another opportunity to hear about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we may have heard this from different speakers at different times, but sadly the Kali Yuga mind is how much ever we hear, still the mind gets distracted. So if we lose the opportunity now to hear about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the next opportunity we will get probably is after 8 billion years. And you can imagine, with the way the world is going right now, it's going to be pathetic after 8 billion years. And this is, I mean, for all that is happening around the world with the wars and so on and so forth, this is just the start of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga has not even reached the midpoint. It is just the start of Kali. Just 5,000 years have happened. Still 427,000 years are still pending. So you can imagine if this is how the start of Kali is, how precarious the situation will be at the end of Kali Yuga. So to be confident of the fact that, well, I will go back home, back to Godhead in one lifetime is a very far-fetched reality. For for most people, actually, it is very difficult if we are just very honest. If we examine our lives with the anarthas that we have, getting Krishna and going back home, back to Godhead in one lifetime is very difficult. Very, very difficult. We have seen so many devotees I can think of in their utmost humility who have practiced bhakti for 40, 50 years, openly share for the fact that the anarthas are still there. We have chanted 16 rounds for so many years, the anarthas are still there. The conditioning is still there. And as we have mentioned in the past, that just like personalities like Gopeshwar Mahadev and Brahmaji, etc., found it difficult to enter Krishna's pastimes, we are trying to do something that even they found it difficult. So it is very, very humongous task, very challenging that we are trying to do. But nonetheless, Krishna is very kind that he gives days like Ekadashi, and he gives days like festival where on the day of Ekadashi, whatever chanting we do and whatever hearing we do, we get more benefit. It's not that Krishna is kind, that I was reading an article today by His Grace Indra Prabhu, and Indra Prabhu was saying, Krishna wants us more than we want him. He wants us back home, back to Godhead, more than we want to go back home, back to Godhead. And he is making every endeavor to make sure he gives this different. You see, in India during the festivals, you have sale, sale, sale. It's just so that you can attract more customers. It's not that during the year there is no sale for the shopkeeper, but during that time he puts sale so that those who are dwindling otherwise due to the sale will now enter. Similarly, these Ekadashis and festivals are for people like you and I. Those who are Mahatmas, those who are Mahatmanas to Maam Partha Daivim Prakriti Mashrita, those who have taken shelter of Krishna's Daivim Prakriti. Daivim Prakriti means Krishna's internal energy. Krishna's internal energy means Srimati Radharani. Like in our congregation, we have Daivi Radhika Mataji. So Daivi means internal. Who is the internal energy? Srimati Radharani. So those who are Mahatmas, those who are very great, who have taken shelter of Radharani, they don't require festivals and Ekadashis because they're anyway absorbed. But it is for people like you and I, where on the day of Ekadashi we have a punch, we have a push that, oh, now it's Ekadashi, I will chant 20 rounds. I will chant 25 rounds. Because otherwise the mind is such, we will never chant more than 16. The moment 16 is done, see you tomorrow. So my Guru Maharaj, for all his disciples, one of the vows we take during initiation is on Ekadashi we have to chant minimum 25. Um, all his disciples. And ideally that should be the thing. On Ekadashis we should chant at least more than 16. His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj says a very beautiful thing. I heard it when I was small, maybe 15 years ago, let's say. Maybe when I was your age or a little more. He was phenomenal realization. Sachinandan Maharaj says, he says, real chanting starts from the 17th round. He says, because 16 rounds you do because you are told to. 17th round say you do because you want to. There is a difference. So he says, real chanting starts from the 17th round. When I heard it, I remember it was phenomenal. So it's our good fortune that after Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudevam Sarvamiti Saha Mahatma Sudurlabha. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita explains Bahunam Janmanam Ante, after many lifetimes. Who is saying? Krishna is saying. After many, 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 many lifetimes, Gyanavan Mam Prapadyate, that person who is very intelligent, understands Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Vasudev Shri Krishna is everything. It's not just a theoretical point. It's very easy to parrot Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's very easy to say it. Sitting here and to parrot it, it's very, very simple. It doesn't require any rocket science. But to realize that Krishna is Vasudevam Sarvamiti, Bhagavan Sab Kuch hai. This takes Bahunam Janmanamante. Because most often we have this thing in our mind that I am providing for the family. If something happens to me, what will my wife do? What will my children do? I'll give you an example. This morning, I will not take any names. This morning, after the Darshanarti, one Mataji from our congregation, um, so she came up to me. I've not seen her before. So she came up, and she's apparently practicing now. So she was speaking, and she said her son has autism. So she said, I take care of him, but I have this lingering thought in my mind that after I leave this world, what will happen to him? He doesn't have anyone. I have a daughter, she will get married, my husband and I will die one day. I feel sad for him. There is no one who's going to take care of him. And when she said that, as a mother, I could see she had tears in her eyes. And her point was, who will take care? So, of course, as a matter of telling her, as we always have heard, that Krishna is the maintainer. Krishna takes care of everyone, and even the money that we get, we feel that we are earning and we are doing the 9 to 5, whatever, but that money that we are earning is Lakshmi, and Lakshmi is the consort of Narayan. So, if Lakshmi is coming into our lives, it can come into our lives only if Narayan wants. Only if the husband wants can the wife go somewhere into someone's house, right? If the husband's desire is not there, a chaste wife will follow what the husband wants. So the sad reality of this world is people want Lakshmi, they don't want Narayan. How many worship Narayan in this world? Very rare. How many want Lakshmi? The whole world. Even atheists want Lakshmi. मानेंगे नहीं लेकिन पैसे चाहिए पैसे क्या है लक्ष्मी है My Guru Maharaj was saying this is Ravana mentality. Ravan wanted Sita, he didn't want Ram. So we shouldn't be Ravana mentality. We should be like Jatayu, wanting to get Maria Sita and Sri Ram together. Devotees' desire is we want Lakshmi, yes, but we want Narayan also. We want Ramachandra also. We want Krishna also. Vasudevam Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Krishna says such a personality. Krishna could have just said, such a person, Sa Mahatma Durlabha. Such a person is rare. Krishna says, nah. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. He adds a prefix. Such a person is not rare, he is very rare. Who is that person who is very rare? That personality after many lifetimes have realized कि भगवान सब कुछ है. Krishna is everything. That person is actually very rare. It's very easy to put a dhoti and kurta. No rocket science. It's very easy to put a sari. It's very easy to even walk into a temple. It's very easy to sit here and just parrot. But it's very difficult to realize that Krishna is everything. And that is why the Brajavasis are special. Because they could realize Bhagavan sab kuch hai, Krishna is everything. Maar obi rakh hobi jo ichha tumar. That my dear Krishna Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, my dear Lord, you kill me, you protect me. Jo ichha tumar. Whatever is your desire. Nitya dasa pratituva. He says, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, my dear Lord, you maintain me, you don't maintain me. I am still your servant. I will still be loyal to you. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Aslisyava padaratam pinashtumam adarshana marmahatam karotova yatha tatha va vidadatu lampato mat prananatastu saheva napura. My dear Lord, you maintain me, you don't maintain me. Whatever. You are my prananath, you are my Krishna. So it takes lifetimes. And these days of Ekadashi are powerful for the fact that if the mood is right, if the mindset is right, one can make a lot of advancement. I know in the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham, in our ISKCON, there are devotees who on the day of Ekadashi, they take Maun Vrat. They don't speak anything. If they speak only about Krishna. So they either give a class or they do their chanting. Anything they speak is only about Krishna. No mundane topics, no material topics. I know devotees in America who on the day of Ekadashi, they take holiday from office so that they can chant more. There's one devotee in in Atlanta. No one knows him. No one knows him. He's disciple of Srila Jayapataka Maharaj. He has a 9 to 5 proper job. He works for Accenture. He's a manager. He has teams under him. He chants 128 rounds every day. 120. He has two children. He's Telugu. On the day of Ekadashi, he takes a holiday, he chants 192. I know him personally. My brother knows him personally. He lives in Atlanta, Georgia. The life that we are leading, he's leading the same life. He has two kids, same Accenture IT job. He is a manager, so he has teams under him. Each, huh? 128 rounds. He starts at 2 in the morning. And 2 to 9, I know 7 hours he goes straight. In one position straight. On the day of Ekadashi, he locks his room. Full Nirijal, doesn't talk to anyone, doesn't talk to his wife, doesn't talk to children. All day Ekadashi he sits inside and chants. He takes a, if it's Saturday, Sunday, even better, but any other day he takes a holiday. The reason I'm saying this is there are such devotees in America. We are not talking about devotees like 100 years back, 500 years back. आज के ज़माने में ऐसे भक्त हैं who are ready to go, who are ready to do so much to please Krishna. That, my dear Lord, if you say I have to chant 16, I will chant 20 times or 10 times of that to make sure I please you. Because a good student is someone who will do little more than what the teacher has expected. Hmm? So there are devotees. So many devotees are there like that. In America, I know so many devotees are there who are hidden to the world, and they are happy to be hidden to the world, and are just amazing. Are just amazing. This devotee is a disciple of Jayapataka Maharaj. And interestingly, today in the temple we celebrated Vyas Puja of Jayapataka Maharaj. So you can know the caliber of Sri Guru by the disciples he has. By the disciples a Sri Guru has, you can understand the level of Sri Guru. By saying Prabhupada, you understand Srila, how Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would have been. By saying Srila Saraswati Thakur, how Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would have been. By saying the disciples of Prabhupada, how Prabhupada would have been. Hmm? So it's a very big responsibility on our shoulders. We represent the Gaudiya Sampradaya. So with this small inspiration on the day of Ekadashi, our goal is to become that Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha, to become that devotee who is sheltered by Daivim Prakritam Ashrita, who has taken shelter of the internal energy of the Supreme Lord, that is Sri Radha. Alright, so we have been discussing about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and in the previous class, we discussed about the 10 qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, we didn't have time to go through all 10, but we did 3 of them. It was the verse was composed by Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. It is from Madhya Lila chapter 10, text 119. हेलोद्धूनित खेदया विशदया प्रोन्मीलदामोदया सम्यक् शास्त्रविवादया रसदया चित्तार्पितोन्मादया शश्वद्भक्तिविनोदया समदया माधुर्यमर्यादया श्रीचैतन्यदयानिदे तव दया भूयादमन्दोदया. Swarup Damodar Goswami says, my dear Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are not just merciful, but you're merciful 12 times. He uses the word daya once, twice, thrice, like that 12 times. So we say Namo Mahavadanyaya. But Swarup Damodar Goswami makes it 12x. And in every line, he uses the word daya 3 times. So of the 10 qualities, we discussed the first 3. Does anyone remember what the first one was? Helo Dhunita. He drives away material lamentation. Very nice. Second, Vishadaya. He purifies the heart. And third, Pronmila, Damodaya. What was it? He awakens transcendental bliss. Those were the 3 qualities we saw. And of course, in that, it was a big list of different qualities. So not getting into the details. But I hope we remember what we discussed. And it's a good verse to memorize. When we get time, we can memorize. Okay. So continuing on our discussion, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is now surrounded by Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. What was Swarup Damodar Goswami's name before initiation? Purushottam Acharya. Very good. Purushottam Acharya. Purushottam Acharya, after initiation, becomes the great Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami, who is Sri Lalita Sakhi. So Swarup Damodar Goswami is there with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and in our today's discussion, we will see a few pastimes that unfolded after that in the land of Jagannath Puri. So in Jagannath Puri, we see in our today's discussion, even otherwise, there are four aspects or four pillars that are there in Mahaprabhu's pastimes. The first is the Lord's dispensation of mercy, how the Lord showers mercy. The second is the surrender of pride. The third is the determination. So if you see, there's like a the one that kings wear, the crown. So there's something discussion about the king, that's determination. And the fourth one is about prema. Prema pumarto mahan. So in Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes have these four facets: mercy, surrender of pride, determination, and spontaneous prema. Like Rupa Goswami says, Utsahat Nishchayat Dhairya Tat Tat Karma Pravartanat. So one should be enthusiastic and one should be patient. And we will see that as we go through discussion about the king, we will see how he was enthusiastic and he was determined. The pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Jagannath Puri are not mere histories. They are eternal blueprints for the soul's approach to the Supreme. Every jiva who aspires to get the Supreme Lord has to go through this. He or she requires the mercy of the Lord. Once that is there, by the mercy of the Lord, the pride in the heart can be given up. Once the pride is given up by the mercy of the Lord, again there is determination in the heart. And eventually, whenever the Lord desires, there will be prema in the heart. I was hearing in one very old class, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was saying that in the 80s, one time he had gone to Radhakund. So there he saw, and during the 80s, Radhakund was a time, or 70s and 80s was a time where occasionally you would also find the wild animals. Because even during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, you have the reference of tiger coming and trying to attack devotees, and even for Raghunath Das Goswami, and that's how we see the tiger wanted to attack the cow. The cow's name was Bahula. The tiger wanted to attack, and Krishna protected, and that's how you have the place called as Bahulavan. So Maharaj was saying in the 70s and 80s also, there were occasionally wild animals, and one time he saw one local renunciant, one mendicant, was having a stick in his hand. So Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, in his innocence, he asked him that, why are you carrying the stick? So he said, I'm carrying the stick so that if wild animals come, I can drive them away. So then Radhanath Maharaj said, Acha, don't you have faith in Radharani, that Radharani will protect you? So, so the Babaji said, that mendicant said, I have faith that Radharani will protect, but I am also wanting to show Radharani that I will also make endeavor on my own. I will also put efforts. I will not just depend on Radharani, I will also put effort. So then Radhanath Maharaj said, this is the sum and substance of Krishna consciousness. We depend on the mercy of the Lord, but we also put efforts. Not that we just sit laid back and think, oh, Krishna will shower mercy, then I will do. First we do, then Krishna showers mercy. Sometimes we have that laid back attitude. It's like relaxing on a hammock. हम आराम से हाथ पैर फैलाएंगे, भगवान जब चाहे तब, भगवान नहीं, आप पहले चाहिए. First you want, then the Lord will desire. Then the Lord will shower mercy. In the Damodar pastime we see Mother Yashoda first put endeavor. Svinnam Vaktram. Shukadev Goswami says Mother Yashoda, when she was trying to bind Lala, Svinnam Vaktram, she was sweating, she was perspiring. It's difficult to bind Krishna, but Mother Yashoda thought, he is my son and I will bind. Mother Yashoda didn't think that, oh, he is Krishna, he is Bhagavan. Nah, he is my son. So first she put effort, then Krishna showered mercy. The robe we see in Damodar Leela was 2 fingers too short, right? And Sanatan Goswami, very popular. Sanatan Goswami says the 2 fingers represent one, the index finger represents our effort. The middle finger represents Krishna's mercy. Krishna's mercy will always be more than our effort. हम कितना भी हाथ पैर मार ले, the Lord's mercy will always be more. But that doesn't mean we don't put effort. We put effort, then we depend on the Lord, like Mother Yashoda. So Maharaj was saying that that's the essence of Krishna consciousness. We put effort, but then we depend on Radha and Krishna. My dear Lord, please protect. So we see these four things are important. We depend on the mercy of the Lord. There has to be the surrender of pride. There has to be determination, like Rupa Goswami says, Utsahat Nishchayat Dhairya. And eventually, by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire, there will be prema in the heart. Someday. Bhavanam Janmanam Ante. Someday that will happen. So the first pillar is the independence of mercy. If you remember in our discussions, we said that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was there with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there in Jagannath Puri with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, a personality by the name Govinda comes. What is the name? Govinda. Now, Govinda comes to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who's Govinda? Govinda is the disciple of Ishwarapuri. But wait a minute. Whose disciple is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Ishwarapuri. Which means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Govinda are God brothers. Correct. Now, normally, a God brother is not a personal servant of another God brother. It's very rare you will find that. Very rare that one God brother becomes a full-time servant of his another God brother. So Govinda, he came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, My dear Lord, I want to serve you throughout. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him why. So Govinda said, when Ishwarapuri was departing this world, he gave me an instruction that after my time I should serve you. So I was serving Ishwarapuri. Now he has departed this world. He gave me the instruction to come to you. I have come to you. Please accept me. So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in a dilemma. What should I do? Should I accept service or should I not? My Guru Maharaj is given instruction, so that is Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. But at the same time, he is my God brother. How can I accept my God brother in service? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in dilemma. He doesn't know what to do. So he turns to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. That, my dear Bhattacharya, you please tell me, hum kya kare? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya questioned why Ishwarapuri would keep a servant from a Shudra family. Now Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, before answering, he says, My dear Lord, I have a question. Why would you even want to keep him as a servant? He doesn't come from a Brahmana background. He comes from a lower background. And you are Sannyasi Chudamani. You're Jagannath Mishra's son. You're a sannyasi. You come from a very high birth. Why would you keep him? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to that he says that our birth is not a prerequisite in bhakti. Kiba bipra kiba nyasi shudra keninai Jai Krishna Tattva Veti Sai Guru hoy. That anyone can become Sri Guru on the path of bhakti. Doesn't matter whether they're Brahman, Vaishya, Shudra. Whatever birth is there, if the person is 100% surrendered to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, he has every adhikar to become Sri Guru. On the flip side, someone may be born in Brahmana family, but if he is going to nightclubs and drinking and this and that, then he is not a Brahmana. Brahmana is not just by birth. It's not just by wearing the Brahmin thread. ये तो 10 रुपए का मिलता है. कौन सी बड़ी बात है? Anyone can wear. I remember in New Jersey, I had this roommate, and he came from a Gujarati family, and if you know, Gujaratis are naturally they're vegetarians by nature, and they worship Krishna. So he was a Gujarati, and one day I saw that he was into meat eating. After he came to US, because parents were not around, he started in meat eating because parents are not there, and you had the freedom to do whatever you want, etc. So I asked him that, aren't you a Brahmana? He said, Pakka Brahman. So I said, what happened to your Brahmin thread? So he took me to his room, and in his room there was a hook. And while eating meat, he had removed his Brahmin thread and he had put it on that hook. He said, I am Brahmana, but while eating meat, I don't wear Brahmin thread. So my Brahmana is also intact, and at the same time, I can indulge. And it was very funny when I heard it. I had never heard such a purport ever in my life. Remove your Brahmin thread and then do whatever you want. And the confidence in which he said, I asked, are you Brahmana? Pakka Brahman. I had doubts in my own Brahmanism. The way he said it. Hmm. So, Brahmana is not just with the thread. Brahman janati te Brahmana. He who knows Bhagavan, Krishna, is Brahman. Right? And someone can be born in a Shudra family. But if he or she knows Bhagavan and is chanting and hearing, he has every right to become guru. And on the flip side, someone can be born in a Brahmana family but is not practicing anything, doesn't have any adhikar. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu establishes that even though Govinda is coming from a lower birth, he can be a servant. So now, whether to keep Govinda or not was the question. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya hit to that. He says, my dear Lord, your Guru Maharaj has given the instruction, Ishwarapuri, that he should come and serve you. Had it been anyone else, you could have thought. But because Guru Mukha Padma Bhakhya Chitate Koriya Akya, Arana Koriya Mane Asha, that the living entity doesn't want anything else except the service and the pleasure of Sri Guru. When Sri Guru is happy, disciple is happy. And here Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, my dear Lord, if you accept him as your servant, Ishwarapuri will be happy and his instruction will be fulfilled. Please accept. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, okay. So from that day onwards, throughout the next 18 years of Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, Govinda was the personal servant. Hmm. Correct. Correct. Because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, it's not that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya doesn't know Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyase Shudra Kenina. He knows the verse. He's very advanced. And if we saw earlier, there was a transformation. But time and again in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see this point is brought in many, many instances that one's birth is not a prerequisite to know Bhagavan. Even in the pastime of Haridas Thakur, we will see. Haridas Thakur again came from a Muslim birth, and he also came from a lower background. But Mahaprabhu makes him the Namacharya for the chanting of the holy name. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is such a personality. He on purpose picks people who don't come from socially high background and gives them a higher position in the sampradaya to teach the world that your birth doesn't mean anything. All that is required is your Krishna consciousness. So he accepts Govinda. And Govinda then becomes the personal servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the next 18 years. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri, Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai would be there inside with Mahaprabhu. And Govinda, like Jai and Vijay, would be standing outside guarding, giving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu whatever he wanted. So we see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Govinda is very similar to Krishna and Vidura. Vidura also came from a Shudra background. Vidura was not a Brahmana, he was Dasi Putra. But Krishna didn't eat from the hands of Duryodhan. He went to Vidura's house. And he was ready to eat the banana peel that Vidurani gave. On the flip side, he could have eaten nice chappan bhog that Duryodhan was giving, but he was eating banana peels that Vidurani was giving, even though there also they were not coming from a high birth. The reason why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emphasizes this again and again is in Kali Yuga there is this disease, Jati Kul. अरे हम ऊंचे कुल से है हम ऊंचे परिवार से है इत्यादि so the supreme lord time and again he deflates it by showing that that is not a prerequisite. So the lord accepted personal service from Govinda out of deep affection for his guru, transcending entirely the rigid social norms of the era. And likewise Krishna and Vidura was a Shudra, yet Krishna accepted lunch at his home. Srila Rup Goswami in his Padyavali he says, व्यादस्य चरणं ध्रुवस्य च वयोर्विद्या गजेन्द्रस्य का कुब्जाया किमु नाम रूपमधिकं किं तत्सुधां नो धनं वंश किं विदुरस्य यादवपतेर् उग्रस्य का पौरुष भक्त्या तुष्यति केवलं न च गुणैर् भक्तिं प्रियो माधव. Srila Rup Goswami says he gives a list of different personalities. He says, Vyadasya charanam dhruvasya chavayor. He says, if age is the criteria to get Krishna, how did Dhruva get Krishna? He was only 5 years old. How did Prahlad get Krishna? Which means age is not the criteria. Vyadasya charanam dhruvasya chaviyor vidya gajendrasya ka. If intelligence is the criteria to get Krishna, how did Gajendra get? He was an elephant, he was an animal. How did he get Krishna? Which means intelligence is also not the criteria to get Krishna. Vidya gajendrasya ka. Kubja. If beauty is the prerequisite, if becoming Miss India, Miss Universe, all those things are the prerequisite, how did Kubja get? Kubja was hunched back. She was not very beautiful, but Krishna made her beautiful. Huh? Krishna made her beautiful. How? Krishna just held her chin and made her beautiful. Mercy through touch. How did Vasudev the leper become beautiful? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him. South India Yatra after Kurma Brahman, mercy through touch. So we see, how did Ahalya, stone, Ram, mercy through touch? Three different pastimes, same theme of mercy through touch. Ram, through his lotus feet, he touches, Ahalya gets her form back. Krishna, through his chin raising activity, Kubja gets her form back. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he embraces Vasudev. Kubjaya kimunam rupam adhikam kim tat sudhamno dhanam. If our 401k is the prerequisite, if our bank balance, Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, if that's the prerequisite, Sudama should have not got Krishna, but he got Krishna. Vamshah kim vidurasya yadava pater. If family heritage, family line, Vamsha is the prerequisite, how did Vidura get Krishna? Rupa Goswami says, in his realization, he says, all these are not prerequisite. There is only one prerequisite to get Krishna. What is it? Bhaktya tushati kevalam nacha gunair bhaktim priyo madhava. He says, there is only one quality, and that is bhakti. If there is bhakti, Krishna accepts you. If there is no bhakti, you may be the biggest multi-billionaire with billions and trillions of dollars. Krishna doesn't care. Because our wealth doesn't attract him. Why? Because he is Lakshmi Kant. The wealth that we aspire for is there at his lotus feet. उनको थोड़ी ले जा सकते. Sometimes we give $10, we put $10 in the hundi and we blackmail the Lord. My dear Lord, hona chahiye kam. By next Sunday feast when I come, Radha Neelamadav, that work should be done. As if Radha Neelamadav didn't have the $10. If you see in India, people pray that, my dear Lord, if this work is done, 11 nariyal chadayenge. As if he doesn't have nariyal. If he wants, he can create a whole coconut tree. If you remember in Adi Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with a seed, he planted it down and a mango tree came. That's how Adi Leela ends. So can he not create a coconut tree? We will see as the discussion goes, there is one point where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he embraces 11 trees. And just by his embrace, again touch, just by his embrace, all 11 trees go back home, back to Godhead. If you go to our VCC temple, Samamish, that photo is there. It is, I think, there when you near the wash basin. Mahaprabhu is embracing and all of them are going back home. Mercy through touch. Actually, in the Prasadam hall, if you see, all the photos are so good. So good. If you just stand, every pastime, idhar ye hua, idhar ye hua, idhar ye hua. 45 minutes can go by easily just through the photos. So, none of these are the prerequisites. The only prerequisite is bhakti. The second aspect, so the first was mercy, how the Supreme Lord showers mercy on Govinda. The second is the surrender of pride, and it is the pastime of disapproving the deer skin. It's a little funny photo, but that's what Google gave me. So the second pastime to this is Mukunda Dutt, one associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He announced to the Lord that, my dear Lord, Brahmananda Bharati is here. Another associate. New name, another associate. He says, my dear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Brahmananda Bharati is here. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hears, Mahaprabhu, he says, Brahmananda Bharati, where? I can't see Brahmananda Bharati, and Brahmananda Bharati is sitting here. So Mukunda says, my dear Lord, Brahmananda Bharati is here. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, oh, I can't see Brahmananda Bharati. Can you see Mukunda? Mukunda says, yes, I can see. Mahaprabhu says, हमें तो नहीं दिखाई दे रहा. I can't see Brahmananda Bharati. He who can see everything. He who can see the things in the atoms, in the molecules, who can see in and out, who knows every single thing. He is saying, I can't see Brahmananda Bharati. Brahmananda Bharati understood something is wrong. The Lord wants to convey something. He came to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wearing a deer skin, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like it. So Mahaprabhu pretended as if he didn't see Brahmananda Bharati. So finally, when Brahmananda Bharati he looked at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, my dear Lord, have I committed some offense? Why is it that you are ready to shower mercy, but you are not even ready to reciprocate to me, and you are not even ready to acknowledge my presence? हमसे कुछ गलती हुआ है क्या? हमने कुछ पाप किया है क्या? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you should not wear the deer skin. You are a sannyasi, you should wear sannyasi attire. Don't wear this deer skin. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him sannyas attire, and Brahmananda Bharati goes and changes, and he comes back in a sannyas attire. And he stands in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mukunda says, my dear Lord, Brahmananda Bharati is here. Mahaprabhu says, now I can see. Now he could see. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a very interesting personality. Yes, he is Namo Mahavadanyaya, but he would always convey what he wanted to convey. He would not shy away. Humility is one, but if someone is a counselor or if someone is a Sri Guru and you have disciples under you or you have counsel under you, it is important to correct them. If people are equal or if someone is superior, then we don't correct. But if there are people who are under us and we are training them, we are teaching them, then if we don't correct, how will they learn? Right? Srila Prabhupada would correct his disciples. But the correction should be such, it should not be to boost our pride. Hey, look, I am senior devotee. I am initiated, you are not even initiated. It should not be to boost our pride. It should be with a genuine mood that I want to help this person. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whenever he would correct, it would only be for the fact that by that correction, how this person can be closer to Krishna, how he can be in line with Shastra. So Mukunda Dutt announced the arrival of Brahmananda Bharati. Seeing the deer skin, Lord Chaitanya purposefully looks away, pretending he is looking for someone else. The Lord asks, you must be talking of someone else. Why should Brahmananda Bharati wear deer skin? So Brahmananda Bharati gets the realization, my deer skin is not approved by Sri Chaitanya, and I put it only for prestige. The point is, anything that has animal abuse in it, devotees stay away. It's not just meat eating, it is also things like nowadays we say in cars there are leather seats, right? And we will get the karma for that. If we use leather seats, leather is what? It is skin of the animal. Right? They are the skin of the animal. I know Prabhupada disciples, when they sit in cars that has leather seats, they will put a cloth and then they will sit on that. Because once you have purchased the car, there's nothing much you can do. But the bare minimum that you can do is be cognizant of the fact that this is wrong. And my dear Lord, at least I'm putting a cloth on top of it so that I don't sit directly on it. But otherwise, if someone uses leather purse, leather handbag, leather seats, 100% karma will be there because that is the skin of the animal. That is the skin of the animal. It is not meant for a car seat. It is not meant for a purse. So many references Prabhupada has said. Devotees don't use leather. Very popular. Devotees don't use leather. And we have so many alternatives also. Normally in the high-end cars you will see seats will always be leather. That's the best you can do. That's the best you can do. Ideally, leather seats should not be purchased because karma will be there. The the downside, the good thing of purchasing a high-end car is चार लोग शाबाशी देंगे and it's a high-end car. But the downside is you are incurring karma for that. So this is a practical example. Mahaprabhu did not like it, and Mahaprabhu didn't even look at it. So it's not just a deer skin; it goes to car seats and wallets and purse and handbags, and you can belts, leather belts, leather shoes, right? And it's a big market, it's a big industry, and it comes from animal abuse. So devotee should be cognizant. Our job just doesn't end with four regulative principles. Yes, Prabhupada said four regulative principles, but as we are evolving in day and age, animal abuse is increasing. And we have to extrapolate that if there is no meat eating, which means it also means no animal abuse. We should not be part of animals being abused. And if we know animals are being abused, let's stay away from it. So here we see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disapproves of the deer skin. Brahmananda Bharati understands, and there is a surrender of pride. Brahmananda Bharati discards the deer skin, shedding false prestige, and accepts the robes of a sannyasi, paving the way for genuine spiritual exchange. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Can someone read what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said? Anyone? So it is interesting that Brahmananda Bharati and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after this, got into a discussion. And Brahmananda Bharati says that, my dear Lord, I feel in Jagannath Puri, now there are two supreme personality of lords that are present. One is immobile, one is mobile. One is sitting on the altar, one is sitting in Gambhira. One is black in color, one is golden in color. And no, not you. I mean, I feel there is the one person who is there who has all these qualities. Indirectly, he's telling about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he knows Mahaprabhu will not like it. So he indirectly घुमा फिरा के बोलते हैं. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he considers Brahmananda Bharati as his guru. He says, "ठीक है, whatever the disciple has said, that is true. I am happy to be defeated by my own guru." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very humbly accepts. So here, immobile Brahman, moving Brahman. One is Jagannath, one is Gaurahari. And you see how Jagannath is dark, Gaurahari is golden. And that was not my thing, that is Google. Google realized it. Blackish in complexion, fair complexion. One is sitting tight and immobile in the temple. One is moving and delivering the entire world. But both are Bhagavan. Jagannath is not different from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jai Jai Jagannath Sachiranandam Tribhuvane Korija Charanakam. Very beautiful. These Vaishnava songs are so sweet. So sweet. If we have the right devotees with nice mridanga, kartal, harmonium, etc., it is madhuram madhurebhyopi. It is happiness. The third part of Jagannath Puri's pastime. So, first two were done. What was the first? Mercy to Govinda. Second, surrender of pride, the giving up of deer skin of Brahmananda Bharati. The third, very important, the poison of worldly association, which is very common these days. One of the biggest poisons that we face on a daily basis is the screen, the digital screen that we see, whether it's YouTube, Netflix, whatever it is. You can do the imagination. It's one of the biggest virtual forms of accepting poison, because the content that we consume through the screen is how our consciousness shapes. We may watch a movie and we may think, oh, I have forgotten. I mean, it was Prabhu, it was not a bad movie. I mean, it was a good movie. I mean, no vulgarity. Sure enough, there may be no vulgarity, but the mind will be affected. The next day morning, you sit to chant, all those scenes will come. The latest trending is that Dhurandhar movie. It may not, maybe it is, there may be nothing vulgar, but every time we watch a movie, without a doubt, I can say it with full conviction, every time anyone watches a movie, the mind gets contaminated and the chanting will get affected. There are two options. One is we can watch a movie and convince ourselves that our mind is not contaminated and we may still do 16. If that is our goal, yes. If our goal, on the flip side, if our goal is to genuinely chant 16 to get Radha and Krishna, then these are not in line with bhakti. What Rupa Goswami has taught is anything that is favorable to Krishna, we accept. Dhurandhar movie, with all due respect, is not favorable to Krishna. It may not, many may not like it, but we are not here to impress anyone. Hmm. It is not in line with Shastra, and it doesn't help us in bhakti. We are followers, we are Rupa Nugas, right? We are followers of Rup Goswami. That's why we are initiated in this movement. Prabhupada was not into all this. Our Gurudev doesn't go to a theater and watch a movie. We are followers of our spiritual master. The absorption that Harivilas Maharaj has day in and day out reading Bhagavad Gita. I was talking to Chaitanya Sundar Prabhu and he was telling me throughout the day he is absorbed, whether it is chanting, hearing, speaking to devotees. That is our sampradaya. We are followers of Sri Guru. Srila Saraswati Thakur would say, we are followers of the dust of the lotus feet of our spiritual master. They don't go to a theater, they don't watch Netflix. That is where we would want to aspire to be. So anything that is favorable to bhakti, we accept. Anything that is not favorable, we give it up. And the power to give it up will come when we associate with devotees who are uncompromising. When we associate with devotees who are ढीला ढाला, चलेगा प्रभु जी, एक ही पिक्चर है, हो जाए, कुछ नहीं होगा प्रभु जी, one picture, then bhakti will get affected. You will have that kind of people also who will say, प्रभु जी एक पिक्चर आ जाओ प्रभु जी, कुछ नहीं, 50 रुपए का टिकट है प्रभु जी, कोई नहीं, who no one will see प्रभु, devotees will not see. प्रभु जी devotees only, sadhu sangha, we will go together to theater. I'm not joking. I have heard youth tell me, give me these reasons. Prabhuji, Rupa Goswami said sadhu sangha, he is also devotee. We are going to theater together. Sadhu sangha only, right? With devotee and watching movie. क्या बोलेंगे अभी? So it is of paramount importance we understand what Prabhupada came to give, what Gauranga Mahaprabhu came to give. Yes, we may get more information, but that may not take us to Krishna. That will take us few lifetimes away from Krishna. So it is up to us. Are we ready to pay the price of going another 10 lifetimes away from Krishna? Already इतना पापड़ बेल के इधर आए हैं, इतना जन्म लग गया है. To come in, to be in this Lynnwood temple, to get the association of our Gurudevs, bona fide spiritual masters. कितना time लग गया. Now if we watch things that are not devotional, we may go back in our Krishna consciousness. And it is no rocket science. We ourselves will understand. When we watch, the mind will get polluted. The next day morning, you get up to chant, the mind will not be devotional. Most often, I've seen in youth, in adults also, people go for night shows 10 to 12, 10 to 1. If you sleep at 1 o'clock, how will you get up at Brahma Muhurta to chant? Impossible. If you don't get up in Brahma Muhurta to chant, the chanting will not be as powerful during the day as much as it is going to be in Brahma Muhurta. So it's either Krishna consciousness or others. Both. There is no balancing. There is no balancing. This question was asked to Srila Jayapataka Maharaj, that Gurudev, how do I balance material and spiritual? Jayapataka Maharaj said, there is only one thing, spiritual. Whatever material activities you do, dovetail that to spiritual. So then there is only one path, spiritual. Whatever job you have, make sure how I can serve Krishna with that. There is only one path. There is no balancing. Doesn't happen that way. Doesn't happen that way. Ye bhi kar liye, wo bhi kar liye. Either you can be materially very accomplished, but your spiritual life will get affected. If you're going to work 10, 10, 12, 12 hours managing multiple teams across the globe, yes, you may make 500,000, but your chanting will get affected. Why? Because you're so tired, you can't get up in the morning. Or on the flip side, you may be like Sudama, nothing, but you will have Krishna in your pocket. So it's up to us whether we want Krishna in our pocket or we want things of this world. Krishna consciousness is not just 16 rounds and 4 regulative principles. That is bare minimum. That is bare minimum. That is not bhakti. My Guru Maharaj was saying, following regulative principles brings us to the human platform. वो भक्ति नहीं है. जो 4 नियम है, वो 4 नियम इसीलिए है ताकि हम मनुष्य के स्तर पर आए. Because a human is not expected to eat meat. A human is not expected to gamble with money. A human is not expected to have illicit sex. Saraswati Thakur didn't have 4 regulative principles. Why? Because during those days, everyone was following 100 years ago. गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज doesn't have four regulative principles. सब लोग कर रहे थे, सबको पता था नियम. Prabhupada, when he came to New York and he saw the hippies, Prabhupada made these four regulative principles. अरे पहले ये तो करो. This is bare minimum. That is not bhakti, dear devotees. That is not bhakti. And the reason I'm emphasizing on this point is because when I interact with the youth, I've heard youth say that Prabhuji, what is wrong? I mean, I'm not breaking regulative principles. Movies are, I mean, it's not illicit sex, it's not meat eating, it's not gambling, it's not intoxication. Why are movies wrong? It is wrong for the fact that it contaminates the mind and our bhajan gets affected. If getting Krishna is the desire, movies are a no-no. Netflix are a no-no. Cancel your Netflix subscription ASAP. It will not get us to Krishna. It will not get us to Krishna. And those who are genuinely advanced do not engage in these things. Do not go to a theater. They do not watch Netflix, etc. And those who engage in that, their Krishna consciousness will suffer 100%. So either we pick Krishna or we pick Maya. And Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Krishna Surya Sama Maya Hai Andakar Jaha Krishna Taha Nai Maya Radhikar. If you pick Krishna, then Maya will not be there. But if you pick Maya, Netflix, Krishna will back out. Krishna doesn't like balancing. Krishna is such a personality, he wants unflinching, one pointed attention only to him. He's an attention seeker. He's an attention seeker. He doesn't like, ठीक है रणवीर सिंह को भी देख लिए, शाहरुख खान को भी देख लिए, थोड़ा कृष्णा को भी देख लिए. Krishna doesn't like it. I am just being brutally honest. Krishna doesn't like it. What does Krishna say in Gita? Ananyas chintayanto mam. Ananya. And it's not the first time Krishna is using this word. He has used it many times. He wants one pointed attention. So if our attention is divided, it may not help us in bhakti. So we should make every endeavor to make sure we at least decrease the habit. Because stopping it right away is difficult. Srila Prabhupada would say we have to replace. We have to replace. So either we replace it by devotional programs, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Abhay Charan series, etc. And parallelly increase our hearing, increase our reading. When someone is genuinely attracted to Krishna, they will not be attracted to movies. I'm really saying this. They will not be attracted to movies. And if someone is attracted to movies, they are not attracted to Krishna. They are not attracted to Krishna. Someone who is going to a theater 10 to 1 show, 10 to 2 show, and calls himself a Paramhamsa, doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. None of our Gurudevs do that. None of Srila Prabhupada never did it. Saraswati Thakur didn't do it. It's not कि वो जमाने में पिक्चर नहीं था. वो जमाने में पिक्चर था. Kishore Kumar, Mohammad Rafi, this, that, all of the people were there during Prabhupada's time also. Right? There's one story of Srila Prabhupada. This is when Prabhupada was a Grahastha. I heard this from Badrinarayan Maharaj. Badrinarayan Maharaj was saying, Prabhupada in a room conversation was saying one time, when he was a Grahastha, one friend of him came to him and said, new picture is released, please come, we'll go to the theater together. साथ में picture देखेंगे. So Prabhupada said, I don't watch movies. This is when Prabhupada was Abhay Babu, not even sannyasi. He was Abhay Babu back then. Prabhupada said, no, I'm not much interested. He said, no, first class picture, 5-star, high demand, let's go. Prabhupada said, you can go. I mean, I'm not much interested. Prabhupada said, he held my hand and took me to the theater hall forcefully. Then Srila Prabhupada said, I came up till the theater hall, but didn't enter inside. He went inside, I took a U-turn and left. And I came back home. And Prabhupada there he says, I can show you, I can give the praman for this. Prabhupada says, even if someone gave me 10,000 rupees, I will still not enter a theater hall. That is Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. No one becomes an acharya overnight. There are some principles that cannot be compromised. And if someone compromises, bhakti will get compromised. So either we compromise bhakti or we compromise or we let go of some basic principles. So the reason I wanted to speak about this is the poison of worldly association, and this is one of the biggest poisons that is there around in youth, adults, etc. Now here, interestingly, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he meets Maharaj Pratap Rudra. And Maharaj Pratap Rudra wanted to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's written wrongly, it should be the other way around. King Prataprudra requested an audience from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Now, he's a king. He wants to meet Mahaprabhu. He tells Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you know Mahaprabhu, if you can put a recommendation. Because he doesn't know me. Put a recommendation. IDC, Disciples Course, whatever. You put a recommendation letter. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, I will do it. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya goes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and says, my dear Lord, there is one king. He wants to meet you. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, king? Why should I meet him? Don't you understand that I'm a sannyasi? I've given up, renounced everything, and he's a king. He deals with money, he deals with wealth, he deals with infantry, he deals with opulence, he deals with palace, he deals with wives. I've given up everything. If I associate with him, my consciousness will get affected. You know I can't meet with him. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, yes, my dear Lord, but Maharaj Prataprudra, he is a very good devotee. अच्छे भक्त है. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Honge, but I don't want to meet. I'm a sannyasi, I don't want to meet. Since I'm a renounced sannyasi, to meet a king or a woman is just like poison. Why? Because sannyasi. What has sannyasi got to do with the opposite gender? And what has sannyasi got to do with someone who is a king? Mahaprabhu says, I don't want both. निष्किञ्चनस्य भगवद्भजोन्मुखस्य पारं परं जिगमिषुर्भवसागरस्य सन्दर्शिनां विषयिणाम् अथ योषितां च हा हन्त हन्त भिषभक्षणमप्यसाधो. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, ha hanta hanta, alas alas, it is poison, poison, poison. What is poison? Sandarshinam Vishayinam Athayoshitam cha. Sandarshinam Vishayinam, associating with those who are materialistic in nature. The more we associate with those who are materialistic, our bhakti will water down 100%. Because their samskaras will come on us. We are not like Prabhupada that we can pull hippies into happies. हम में इतना बल नहीं है. Most often we would have seen when we associate with those who are materialistic, we start speaking their language. We are not like Prabhupada, so strong that we can go to a theater and back out from there. Yes, there may be some great people like that. But most often, the mind will say, इधर तक आगे देख लेते, एक ही शो है, देख लेते. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, associating with those who are materialistic and associating with the opposite gender. Ha hanta hanta vishabhakshanam apisadho. As much as possible, one should keep it restrained. In India, we see, it's just a general observation. In India, most often we see when the youth are young, there is a natural understanding of once they turn 17, 18, 19, etc. Boys and girls keep a distance. It's ingrained. But in America, in the last 10 years that I've been here, I've seen even when the boys and girls turn 18, 19, 20, that concept that the Indian mentality has that, oh, there should be a distance, is not much seen. Boys and girls sit together, boys and girls hang around together. Maybe not in India. When I was growing up, at least it was there. Yeah, now India is fast catching up. Whatever America is doing, India is also doing. Huh? More. hmm. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yeah, India is fast catching up. It's very sad. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ha hanta hanta vishabhakshanam vapyasado. And then Mahaprabhu says, even though a woman is made of wood, one could get agitated by touching her form. Even though there's a diorama, let's say, of wood, the mind is such and so fickle that it will get agitated. So the principle is the mind is fickle and specifically agitated by worldly association, prone to enemies like Kama, Krodha, and Lobha. And what does Bhagavan say in Gita? Kama, Krodha, and Lobha are three gates to. Does anyone remember the verse? Very nice, very good. Haribol. Krishna and the Gita, Bhagavan says these are three gates to hell. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the same thing here. And he says, I don't want to meet with Maharaj Prataparudra. He's a king. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, before he's about to say anything, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, the next time you again bring this topic, I will leave Jagannath Puri. Blackmail. He literally blackmails. He says, I am not, if you bring this topic again, I am not going to. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, okay. And he goes back to Maharaj Pratap Rudra and says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said he doesn't want to meet. He's a king. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, since I am a renowned sannyasi, to meet a king or a woman is just like poison. Virakta sannyasi amar raja darshana Stri darshana sama bishera bhakshan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says these two as a sannyasi he wants to restrict. So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't want to see. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has conveyed this to Maharaj Pratap Rudra. Mahaprabhu gives this analogy also. That just like even the spiritually advanced can fall prey to the enemies of the mind, lust, anger, and greed. The mind is specifically agitated by the association of materialistic men and the opposite gender. Barambar diya hai. Again and again Mahaprabhu is giving. And there's so many examples. In the Bhagavatam, you see Shaubari Muni, ninth canto of the Bhagavatam. Shaubari Muni was doing bhajan under Yamuna. Now, who can stay under Yamuna? He was doing it for thousands of years. But he saw two fishes together and he got agitated, comes out, gets married to 50 daughters of King Mandata, and then realizes, my goodness, what happened? Again goes back. Punar Mushiko Bhava. Vishwamutra Muni, Menaka, all the story. Urvashi Ramba, so many examples are there. Indra and Ahalya pastime was again like that, right? So the greatest even demigods have slipped. हम किस खेत के मूली है हम बहुत छोटे हैं so it's very important it's like you see the horse will always have those blinders devotee should be like that having those blinders materialistic association opposite gender as much as possible should be restricted it should only be there as far as preaching is concerned or bhakti is concerned but otherwise free mixing free intermingling is not Krishna consciousness. When we say illicit sex, it's not just illicit sex, it is free mixing with the opposite gender when there is actually nothing substantial to speak. बस जाके बात करना माता जी खड़ी है ठीक है जस्ट बात करेंगे कुछ हंसी मजाक करेंगे not required. That's not required. Likewise, Mataji is going and speaking to Prabhuji when there is no substantial topic, not required. When there is something preaching related, temple related, some preaching seva, then it should be there. It should be restricted. Mahaprabhu, there are so many examples now you will see in Madhyalila and Antilila. Mahaprabhu did not like free mixing of the opposite gender. He chastised heavily. There will be a story of Chota Haridas after this. Mahaprabhu chastised him so much that Chota Haridas committed suicide after that. Mahaprabhu hated free intermingling, free mixing. And this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about. Mahaprabhu is not just chant, 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 chant. There are principles that one needs to follow along with chanting also. And Mahaprabhu gives this analogy of the snake. A materialistic person is likened to a venomous snake. Lord Chaitanya explained that just as one is frightened upon seeing even a wooden form of a snake, a renunciant must fear the association of worldly person. So it's not my statement. This is Mahaprabhu. Bhagavan ke vakya hai. Again and again the same point. So he says, I don't want to meet Maharaj Pratap Rudra. So now the king became very disturbed. Imagine Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming down and meeting everyone. And he just doesn't want to hear your name. Leave alone meeting, he doesn't want to hear your name. It'll be so painful, right? Like if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming down and Mahaprabhu says, I don't want to meet Arjun Sakha Das. It will break my heart that he is meeting everyone. What wrong did I do? Imagine Maharaj Pratap Rudra. Mahaprabhu says, Unka naam yadi liye, I will leave Jagannath Puri. And devotees don't want him to leave Jagannath Puri. But devotees are very intelligent also. Now they will make a plan as to how Mahaprabhu will be there in Puri. At the same time, he will meet Pratap Rudra. Devotees, Krishna Bhakta hai bada chatur. Bhakt bahut chatur hote hain. So the king's realization, Pratap Rudra considered himself most fallen because he had to deal with material things constantly. If I do not receive his mercy, my body and my kingdom are completely useless. Kiba Rajya Kiba Deha Saba Akaran. Maharaj Pratap Rudra says. Jadi se Mahaprabhu न पाए कृपा धन किब राज्य किब देह सब akaran. He says everything is useless if Mahaprabhu doesn't shower mercy. So the more fallen a person is, the more he has the right to be delivered by the Lord. The lower the king places himself in humility, the higher his devotion rises. The king was thinking, maybe I can give up my kingdom. If this kingdom is acting as a barrier in Mahaprabhu's mercy, I will give up my kingdom. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, wait. There will be a time Mahaprabhu will shower mercy, just wait. Now it's very interesting. The path to get the Supreme Lord is through a devotee. Right? We have heard it so many times. The only way you can get Bhagavan is through his devotee. Now, if you remember, there was one devotee who was scheduled to come to Jagannath Puri. That is Ramananda Rai. Mahaprabhu was waiting for Ramananda Rai. Ramananda Rai now comes to Jagannath Puri. And Ramananda Rai was the governor in Maharaj Pratap Rudra's kingdom. So now Ramananda Rai knows Maharaj Pratap Rudra very well. And interestingly, for the fact, when Ramananda Rai expressed the desire that he wants to go and meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Maharaj Pratap Rudra was such a nice boss, such a nice manager, such a manager you will not find in this world. He was such a nice manager. He said, you want to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Go. Ramananda Rai quit his job. And then Maharaj Pratap Rudra said, I will give you pension for life. You just serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You tell me, will you find such a manager, Prabhuji? Oracle? You will not find such a manager. Manager is saying, you serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, paisa hum denge. Ramananda Rai, when he got to know, he was so happy. Now he comes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he comes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, my dear Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is one king. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows who the king is. Mahaprabhu says, Acha, who's the king? His name is Maharaj Pratap Rudra. I know him very, he's a very good king. And he is good for the fact that he gave me permission to be with you and to serve you. And he is ready to give me pension so that with that money I can serve you, my dear Lord. Now when Ramananda Rai is giving a recommendation, Mahaprabhu has soft corner for Ramananda Rai. वो जो भी बोलेंगे उनको पसंद है. स्वरूप दामोदर रामानंद राय whatever recommendation देके हाँ very good. Ramananda Rai gave a recommendation. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hears this, Mahaprabhu says, dear Ramananda, you are the foremost of all Krishna's devotees. Therefore, whoever loves you is certainly a fortunate person. Because the king has shown so much love for you, Krishna will certainly accept. Who is Krishna? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Which means Mahaprabhu is saying, हमने स्वीकार कर लिया. I have accepted him. So the Lord loves the devotees of his devotees more than his own devotees. When Maharaj Pratap Rudra went through Ramananda Rai, who is one of the greatest devotees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted. So our principle is we don't go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly. We go to Mahaprabhu through our Guru Maharaj, being the devotee of the devotee. If we directly go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu will say, the next time you will come, I will leave the altar. I don't want you. I don't want you here. But when we go as Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur, Dasa Dasanu Das, in the mood of servant of the servant of the servant, we get the Lord. So King Pratap Rudra, Maharaj Ramananda Rai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sri Krishna Bhagavan. So the secret to the Lord's heart is the devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not ready to meet the king, but devotees who are like, as sweet as Rasgulla or Gulab Jamun, whatever you see in the photo, they are ready to do the introduction to the Supreme Lord and tell the Lord that, my dear Lord, I know him, I am recommending. How does Guru Maharaj in ISKCON give initiation? Someone recommends that, my dear Gurudev, I know him and I know he chants 16, please accept. Okay, we will accept. I remember one time Gauranga Prabhu was saying that there was initiation of Radhanath Maharaj. Initiation by Radhanath Maharaj, not of. Initiation by Radhanath Maharaj. And in the last minute, another 100 devotees were added, and Gauranga Prabhu added all of them. So Radhanath Maharaj said, do you approve of them? I mean, do you know all of them? He said, yes, Maharaj, I know all of them. No, very nice devotees. If you can please accept them. Maharaj said, yes, yes, I will accept, but 50% of their karma I will take, 50% you take. Gaurang Prabhu said, Maharaj, I think we can wait. नेक्स्ट इनिशिएशन में देख लेंगे. We will see, Maharaj, we will see next time. So we see the way to the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is through the devotees. So direct approach is blocked by scriptural rules, but humble service to the Vaishnavas safely bypasses all barriers. So that's the flow of mercy. Now, so now Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. I know if I go to the next slide, you will already know what I'm going to say. So, thoda suspense chahiye. This is the last few minutes and then we will end. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, my dear Maharaj Prataparudra, I have a plan for you. You want to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? He says, yes, I have a plan. And that plan is, after the Rath Yatra festival, Mahaprabhu will dance during Rath Yatra festival and he will get tired. After he gets tired, he will go to the nearby garden to take rest. And he will be so intoxicated in the mood of Srimati Radharani that he will not know what's happening and who's near him. You go that time. But don't wear this opulent king's attire. Become like a mendicant. Change your attire, become like a mendicant, and go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and start massaging his feet. And because he's in the mood of Radharani, sing something for him that will bolster his mood. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, you go and sing the Gopi Geet for him. He will be in the mood of Radharani. If you go and sing Gopi Geet, he will love you very much. So devotees know भगवान को मक्खन कैसे लगाना है. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya knows what's coming and he is giving a full blueprint. You do this, he will accept you. Exactly the same thing happens. There's a Rath Yatra that happens after that. Mahaprabhu, like a madman, dances and dances and dances and gets tired. And after he gets tired, he goes to the near garden, Jagannath Vallabh garden. He gets tired. And Maharaj Prataparudra comes to massage his feet. And when he comes to massage his feet, Mahaprabhu in the mood of Radharani is there. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, can you sing something? Sing something. And Maharaj Prataparudra chants, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibiriritam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhuvi Grinanti Je Bhureda Janaha. Maharaj Prataparudra chants the Gopi Geet, and when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hears this, Mahaprabhu gets up and embraces Maharaj Prataparudra. Now he doesn't know it's Maharaj Prataparudra. He thinks it's some random person because he's so intoxicated. He has lost track of who's there around. And because Maharaj Prataparudra has already chanted 8 verses in the past and is helping Mahaprabhu remember Krishna, who's in the mood of Sri Radha, he goes and embraces him and says, Bhurida, 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 you are the most magnanimous, you are the most magnanimous. Who's saying the most magnanimous Lord is calling his devotee the most magnanimous? Why? Because the devotee has apparently helped Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is now in the mood of Radharani, remember Krishna. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya gives this blueprint. Discard your royal dress, ये कपड़ा वपड़ा छोड़ दो, कुछ become humble. Don't give up this attire and approach alone. Don't go with your kingsmen. अकेले जाओ and recite Shastra, recite Gopi Geet, Ras Panchadhyay. Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will shower mercy. Mahaprabhu loves Gopi Geet very much. So many instances are there Mahaprabhu loves Gopi Geet. In fact, our situation is like Maharaj Prataparudra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not showering mercy. Why? Because he has not given darshan to us. We have been practicing for such a long time, but he is saying, Arjun Sakha Das, I don't want to see. So the only way we can get the mercy of the Lord is one, through the devotees, and second Shastra, which is Gopi Geet here. Mahaprabhu loved Gopi Geet so much so that he got up and embraced Maharaj Pratap Rudra. Just like Jagannath loves Gita Govinda prayers, Gauranga Mahaprabhu loves Gopi Geet. So, absorbed in loving ecstasy and without external consciousness, the Lord will not recognize worldly status and will embrace him. Krishna's mercy follows the devotee's mercy. Pehle devotee showers mercy, then Krishna showers mercy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then there is the Snan Yatra. This is the last 2 minutes, and when we are going to end. There is the Snan Yatra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in separation, and he leaves Jagannath Puri and he goes to Alalnath. And when he goes to Alalnath, he is there in separation in the mood of the gopis of Vrindavan. Then comes the last point when Mahaprabhu is there in Alalnath. He gets to know that devotees from Bengal have come. 200 devotees from Bengal have come and they have started doing Nam Sankirtan in Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu loves Nam Sankirtan so much. He leaves Alalnath and comes back to Jagannath Puri. He loves Nam Sankirtan so much. बोला Alalnath ठीक है हम फिर से जगन्नाथ पुरी आएंगे. So that's the fourth part of Jagannath Puri. The advent of Prem Sankirtan, Prema Nam Sankirtan. 200 devotees from Bengal they come. And you see, if you see this slide, it's very interesting. The devotees who are there, they are like the blue ocean. And Mahaprabhu, we have discussed, is the golden ocean. The blue ocean and golden ocean are now meeting each other in Jagannath Puri. So Mahaprabhu is having the mood of separation. During the Anavasara period, Sri Chaitanya resided at Alalnath, immersed in the profound pain of separation from the Lord in the mood of the gopis. And Gopinath Acharya brings the joyous news to Sarvabhauma. Approximately 200 devotees from Bengal have arrived in Puri for the Rath Yatra festival. The Lord's mood transforms into the absolute joy of reunion. He is very happy to see his devotees. And so it is after the Snan Yatra when the temple is closed. Darshan nahi hota. And here we see when 200 devotees have come, Maharaj Pratap Rudra now wants to do service. So he gives the order to Kashi Mishra. So anytime Maharaj Pratap Rudra wants anything, Kashi Mishra, you do it. Kashi Mishra is the right hand. Even for the Gambhira, it was Kashi Mishra's house that was given. So the king eagerly commands the temple attendants and Kashi Mishra to provide extensive, comfortable accommodation and vast amounts of Jagannath Prasadam for 200 arriving devotees. He officially steps into the role of a menial servant for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These are 4 questions that Prataparudra Maharaj asked. I will skip this. The loving reciprocation of the Lord. 200 devotees came. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally left Alalnath. He came. He served them with his own hands. He spoke to them. He embraced them. Mahaprabhu loves his devotees very much. So it was a reunion of the blue ocean with the golden ocean at Jagannath Puri. And as they come there, why did Mahaprabhu come? Because Kirtan chal raha tha. So Mahaprabhu now, who is the Kirtan Acharya, who gave the Yuga Dharma to this world, Mahaprabhu comes and now jumps into the center. And these devotees in circles, they go around, like you see in Sunday feast normally. There's the one devotee who's leading a kirtan in the center. I remember pre-COVID, many times Sunday feast, and even during Harivilas Maharaj Vyas Puja, like 4 or 5 years back pre-COVID, Maharaj was so enthusiastic. He would come in the center and he would lead kirtans. And devotees, sometimes we have the parikrama. So Maharaj, all the Prabhujis would follow him like a train. We would go do that parikrama and come back. And he was, my goodness, so, of course, he's still enthusiastic. But like pre-COVID days with that big drum, that blue drum that we would have, dhanaka, 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 he would put that on his shoulders at 75. I remember when I came here, I was surprised to hear that he was 75 years old. Because that drum is very heavy. And he would put that and dhanaka, 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 he would play that and he would sing for hours together. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be in the center, the devotees would surround. And they would, in circles, they would do a kirtan. And that is called Beda Kirtan. Beda means circular. Kirtans that are done in circular. Mahaprabhu would do that. And that's how we also do it because we follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Beda Kirtans happened in Jagannath Puri. It's almost like a donut. See, it's almost like it's a wrong day to say, but I mean, Ekadashi. So devotees along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they did Beda Kirtan circular. And finally, we see the unending festival of Jagannath Puri. So all four things that we discussed. First, mercy. True mercy defies material caste and flows continuously through empowered guru. What was the pastime? Govinda, even though he's coming from Shudra background. Second, true wisdom. Oh no. Second, true wisdom happily surrenders the rigid pride of false ego, which was Brahmananda Bharati, deerskin. Third, Maharaj Pratap Rudra, royalty, true royalty is the unyielding determination forged in a beggar's humility. Gopi Geet pastime. And fourth, true union with the Supreme is often felt deepest in tears of separation, the Beda Kirtan pastime. So, in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come back to Jagannath Puri. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari. Yes. I was telling Prabhuji, I made these slides in 30 minutes. It is Google's Notebook LM. 30 minutes. I just took photos and I put it and I gave a few prompts. In 30 minutes, it made it. It is so nice. So that's what I think. If preachers can take advantage of this, we can do so much preaching now. Like slides, if 30 minutes mein kar sakte hai, in a day you can make like 10 slides. Right? And they're so good. Like some of the intricacies are such that it's very difficult on our own to do it. If we give the right prompts and we give the right things, so many slides can be made. And even the device, I was thinking, we can use AI to revamp and make some more attractive slides and some more modern examples, etc. Yeah, I can share the slides. The wife, na, his mother, he was father was Ved Vyas, but the child gets the impression from the mother and father, right? It's not just the father. A person becomes a Brahmana when the father and mother both are Brahmana. It's not just one is a Brahmana, one is a Shudra. The um, the family lineage is determined not just by the father but also determined by the mother because he has a tinge of Brahminical birth on one side, which is Vyasdev, but he also has a tinge of Shudra birth, which is the mother on one side. So he cannot be called a Pakka Brahmana. He cannot be called like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where both are Brahmanas. So there is a mixture, there is a tinge of Shudra background, right? And he was Dasi Putra. But again, very dear to Krishna. Same logic. Same logic. This is not feminism or anything. This is both have to be Brahmana um, for the child to be. But again, now this is when you're talking purely on birth. If you're talking as far as bhakti is concerned, then it is doesn't make sense. But if you're just talking about birth, then this is how it works. Actually, Beda Kirtan happens first, and then it happens. Yeah. So Mahaprabhu is in Jagannath Puri, and they're dancing. And then eventually there is a Rath Yatra festival because that's why the devotees have come from Bengal. And then Mahaprabhu gets fatigued, and then this the Gopi Gita chanting. Hmm. He came from Bengal. He came from Bengal because um, Kala Krishna Das had committed the offense. And as Prayasthita, if you remember, Nityan Prabhu had told that you go to Sachi Mata and tell the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to Jagannath Puri and bring all the associates. वहाँ के जितने भी लोग हैं सबको इधर लेके आओ. So Kala Krishnadas gets everyone. That's how Gadadhar comes. But Gadadhar is otherwise also there in Bengal. Gadadhar, Purushottam Acharya, Swarup Damodar Goswami, they were there in Navadvip also. That is Maharaj Prataprudra, correct, correct. No, after Ayaka, Ayaka. When the Rath Yatra happens, he will in a very humble mood because normally that's the paddhati, that's the even now the kings of Orissa they sweep. So Maharaj Pratap also did that. No, it was always there. It was always there. I mean, from the time Jagannath has been there, this paddhati has been there that he who is the highest, that is king, becomes the lowest in front of he who is the highest, Jagannath. हाँ तभी भी आए थे हाँ तभी भी आए हाँ at that time the prominent names were called out यहाँ नाम नहीं दिया है it just 200 devotees came हाँ कीर्तन Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,